The sun hung low over the city, casting long shadows on the bustling streets. Adam stood there, adjusting his tie nervously. His reflection in the shop window showed the same suit he'd worn to countless interviews. It was old but still fit him well. He glanced at his hands, which were clammy as he thought about what lay ahead. Across the street, Emily walked by, her head held high, laughter trailing behind her. She spotted Adam and came to a halt, a playful smirk forming on her lips. "That the best you can do?" she teased, raising an eyebrow. Adam chuckled, his cheeks turning a shade redder. His voice held a mix of embarrassment and warmth. Emily laughed, her eyes sparkling, but there was something in her tone that suggested her teasing was more playful than cruel. She knew him well enough to know that his worry ran deep today. He sighed, running a hand through his hair. "Just today is important. I have to present an award at the annual city celebration." Emily's teasing faded. "The mayor, that's a big deal, Adam." She stepped closer, her voice soothing. Adam smiled, gratitude bubbling under the surface. "Thanks, Emily, really, Her eyes softened. "You will." As Adam walked away, a mix of anxiety and excitement churned in his stomach. He turned down the street where the square was alive with energy. Colorful banners fluttered in the breeze and the scent of street food filled the air. Yet, even surrounded by life, a sense of doubt crept in. What if he stumbled over his words? What if the mayor found him unworthy? Adam shook his thoughts, focusing on the people gathered, chatting and laughing, grabbed by the spirit of celebration. Finally, the time arrived. He walked onto the stage, the wooden boards creaking underfoot. The crowd was vibrant, faces turned toward him, smiling, waiting. His heart pounded as he gripped the microphone. "Good evening, everyone," he started, his voice trembling slightly. The crowd's confidence in him sparked a sense of calm. He could feel their energy flowing into him, lifting him. He spoke about the importance of the local community, about connection and legacy. More importantly, he spoke from the heart. With every word, he felt his old suit fade into the background. All that mattered was the message, the reason they had gathered. Suddenly, he noticed movement in the crowd. The mayor stood off to one side, watching intently, his expression hidden. Adam tried to compose himself, focusing on finishing his speech strong. When he concluded, the applause washed over him like a wave. Relief and exhilaration coursed through him. He had done it. The mayor stepped forward, his presence commanding, with an aura of authority. Adam took a deep breath as he approached the podium, unsure of what to expect. The mayor greeted him with a firm handshake, eyes bright with appreciation. "You did well, Adam." He pulled out a shining key, holding it up for the audience. Gasps of excitement filled the square. Adam's heart raced as he realized the significance of the key, a symbol of honor, of belonging. "This key is for your contributions to our community," the mayor declared, handing it over as the crowd erupted in cheers. Adam felt a wave of warmth and joy wash over him. For a moment, everything clicked. Emily, standing in the crowd, was clapping loudly, her eyes fixed on him, a mixture of pride and surprise shining through. She knew how much this moment meant to him, and in that instant, the teasing about the old suit faded into memory. As he accepted the key, uncertainty ebbed away, replaced by a sense of accomplishment. He had managed to rise above his fears. In that moment, he stood tall, his heart swelling, the weight of his anxieties lifting. Later, amidst the celebration, Adam found Emily. She rushed into his arms, laughter dancing in her eyes. "I can't believe it, you did it." Her voice was filled with excitement. He held her tightly, feeling grateful. She teased again, grinning. "Didn't you see how amazing that suit looks on stage?" Adam laughed, the sound echoing through the evening air. "Yeah, right." Emily nudged him playfully, her smile radiant. "Seriously, I'm proud of you. You're more than that suit." He looked into her eyes, sensing an openness that wasn't there before. "Absolutely," she affirmed, her voice steady and sincere. "It's what's inside that counts, and you showed everyone who you really are." His heart felt lighter. As the evening continued, people gathered around to congratulate him. Each handshake, each word of praise built a stronger connection in his chest. For once, Adam felt he belonged, not just in the community, but also in a new way with Emily. The laughter, the celebration, and even the old suit felt insignificant compared to the moment they shared. It transformed not just him, but how he saw the world around him. As night fell, the lights twinkled above, adding a touch of magic to the city square. Adam couldn't help but smile, thinking about what he had achieved. More than just an award, it represented hope, ambition, and transformation. It was a key to new beginnings, full of potential. He watched Emily interact with others, her laughter infectious, filling the air with energy. She turned back to him, catching his gaze. In that moment, something shifted. The way she looked at him held a promise of support, of something deeper. She suggested, pulling out her phone. Adam laughed, feeling exuberant and grateful. She positioned herself beside him, her arms slung around his shoulders, the key proudly displayed between them. Looking at her, he couldn't help but think that this was just the start. It felt like they were writing a new chapter together. As the day faded into night, the music played and the celebration carried on. Adam danced with Emily, laughter spilling from their lips, their worries swept away in the rhythm of the moment. In the glow of the city lights, with every beat, he felt lighter, freer. The old suit faded into the background, and before him lay a future brimming with connection, opportunity, and warmth. He had faced the moment and emerged transformed, fearless, and ready for anything. The key to the city felt heavy in his pocket, a reminder of everything that was possible. And just like that, Adam knew he was exactly where he belonged. The crowd hushed suddenly, and all eyes turned to a nervous figure standing at the edge of the stage. Adam's heart raced as he realized he'd be the next person to step into the spotlight. The cheers from the audience echoed in his ears, but instead of excitement, he felt a wave of anxiety crashing over him. Just moments before, he had been lost in his own thoughts, clutching his old suit tightly as if it were a lifeboat in a sea of uncertainty. His gaze drifted downward. The suit was slightly frayed at the cuffs, and he hadn't worn anything this formal in years. It had certainly seen better days. Emily, standing off to the side, grabbed his attention with a teasing smile. "Oh, look at you," she called out, laughter dancing in her voice. The crowd chuckled, and for a fleeting second he wanted to crawl into a hole, yet a small grin played on his lips. He knew she meant it in good fun. With a deep breath, he forced the smile to spread wider. He shot back, feeling a rush of confidence in the banter. The laughter from the crowd grew louder, filling him with a peculiar strength. Maybe this moment wouldn't be so bad after all. As he approached the podium, he noticed the glint of a golden key resting on a black velvet pillow behind the mayor. It caught the light beautifully, and for a brief moment, Adam's heart skipped. This wasn't just any event. Today culminated in handing off the key to the city, a symbol of honor that had been handed down through generations. The mayor, a shape of authority with a stern yet warm demeanor, stepped forward. Adam felt the weight of the expectations in the air as he adjusted the microphone. This was it. This was his chance to connect, to rise above all the doubts he carried. Instead of listening to the cacophony of noisy thoughts in his mind, he looked straight at the faces in the audience, letting their smiles fuel him. "Thank you, everyone," he began, his voice slightly shaking. Behind him, he could hear Emily cheering softly. Small gestures from her meant the world. She understood him more than most. With every word spoken, he felt the weight of his old suit fade away, transforming into something comfortable and familiar, like a well-loved book. He spoke passionately about unity, about the individuals and families that made up his beloved city. Each story resonated in the hearts of those listening. The further he went, the more he felt himself embraced by the atmosphere. Tension slipped away, replaced instead by a warmth that spread through him like sunlight. Then, just as the crowd erupted in applause, he spotted a glimmer of anticipation in the mayor's eyes. Adam had seen it before. It was that look of profound recognition. The mayor stepped back and signaled for the golden key to be brought forth. In that moment, everything froze. The murmurs quieted, and a pinpoint of focused attention surrounded Adam as he stepped toward the mayor. "It is my honor to present this key," the mayor announced, voice booming. Adam barely felt the key's weight in his palm when it was handed over, though it held such significance. Shock and disbelief filled his heart. Just moments ago, he had been the butt of Emily's joke, and now he stood with an emblem of respect. The cheers of the crowd shot adrenaline through him. The old suit, once a source of shame, felt like armor, solidifying his spirit. Emily whispered from her spot in the crowd, still taken aback by the shift in atmosphere. She watched him standing tall, the golden key glistening in his hand. Just a few moments ago, he seemed unsure, but now he radiated a new kind of energy that was hard to ignore. As the claps echoed and the cheers rang, Emily couldn't help but marvel at him. "This has got to be the biggest transformation I've ever seen," she thought. Seeing Adam transcend from that boy in an old suit to a man who had just earned the key to the city was nothing short of magical. It was a testament not only to his own journey, but the power of believing in oneself. After the ceremony, the crowd flowed out into the streets, celebrating. Adam was swept along in a current of laughter and joy. People congratulated him, slapping his back, shaking his hand, all while the key hung from his neck like a badge of honor. Someone shouted, and a wave of pride surged through him. He spotted Emily weaving through the crowd toward him, her eyes wide with admiration. "I can't believe it," she exclaimed, her excitement contagious. Adam laughed, still in disbelief. "I know," he replied, feeling closer to her than ever. But more than just the key, what stuck with Adam was how the moment bonded them. In her eyes, he saw not just a friend, but someone who always believed in him. Emily had seen him at his lowest moments. She understood the insecurities, witnessed the struggles that had accompanied his old suit. They stood there, surrounded by the jubilant crowd, absorbed in one another's excitement. She asked, bubbling with enthusiasm. His laughter erupted again, and he found himself not ashamed of the past, instead proud of the man he had become and the friend at his side who had never wavered. He replied, joy bubbling up inside him. As dusk settled over the city, their laughter mingled with the sounds of celebration. They walked through the streets hand in hand, both unaware that they were stepping into a new chapter, a journey that promised connection and a deeper understanding of each other. The festivities continued, fireworks illuminating the night sky. Adam held the key close to his chest, not just as a symbol of his achievement, but as a reminder that sometimes you need to face the world in an old suit to discover the strength within, to embrace who you truly are. Her voice was steady, and Adam felt a rush of conviction. "I want to explore those doors together," he said earnestly, feeling a shift in their dynamic, a promise for the future. Emily nodded, a smile playing on her lips, her joking demeanor replaced by a sincere connection that bound them tighter than ever. In all that celebration, Adam realized how important it was to be genuine. The mayor had handed him that key, yes, but it was the community, family, and old friends that had really shaped him. They had made him stronger, even when he didn't feel good enough. Later, as the evening wind cooled, they found a quiet spot away from the clamor, two figures silhouetted against the backdrop of dazzling fireworks. Together, they gazed up into the night sky, the stars dancing, vibrant colors fading behind them. Emily mused, her eyes reflecting the fireworks above. Adam chuckled, still reeling. "I can't, it's like a dream. I think we should celebrate this every year," he said, his heart filled with gratitude. They leaned into one another, the firework explosions mirroring the sparks flying between them. It wasn't just a key they had gained, it was strength, friendship, and perhaps something deeper, a bond that could flourish beyond this celebration. As the night drew on, they made their way home, feeling like they could take on anything together. The suit, the key, the teasing, it was all part of their story now, one that would continue to unfold, one filled with possibility, connection, and new adventures waiting just beyond the horizon. What had once felt heavy had become light, what had once seemed mundane transformed into something magnificent. And in that moment, Adam understood. It wasn't the suit or the title, it was the courage to step onto the stage and embrace the unknown. It was about having the kind of dreams that can unlock doors, not just for oneself, but for those you hold dear. Beside him, Emily sat confident and sure, and he realized that this key meant more than just access. It was an invitation to explore all that was yet to come together. As they walked along the illuminated street, laughter bubbling between them, the city sparkled brighter than any firework. The key had opened the door to a journey they had only just begun. Clock struck 6, and the crowd buzzed with anticipation, the electric energy nearly tangible. Adam adjusted his old suit for what felt like the 100th time, glancing over the crowd on the plaza. The sun dipped low, casting a golden hue over the faces of families, friends, and neighbors gathering to witness a moment that would forever change his life. Just then, the sound of laughter rang out, and there she was, Emily, walking toward him, all confidence and charisma, her eyes sparkling with mischief. "Wow, Adam," she called out, a playful smirk teasing her lips, his cheeks flushed as laughter erupted from those nearby. He shot back, not quite hiding his embarrassment. "Oh, come on, I didn't realize we were hosting a time travel party tonight," she teased, making a dramatic gesture, pretending to look for a door to step through. The crowd joined in, chuckling and nudging one another. For a moment, the laughter strained against his nerves, but deep down, amidst the teasing, he could feel the warmth of familiarity. Despite the humor, Adam felt a knot tighten in his stomach. Today was important. He could feel the weight of occasion pressing against his soul. The annual city celebration wasn't just any event, it was the day the mayor would hand over the key to the city. Emily realized the shift in his mood. She leaned in closer, her voice softer, yet still filled with encouragement. "You're going to do great, right?" Adam muttered, adjusting his tie, unsure if he believed her. Yet he could not shake that it all felt heavier than it should. He took a deep breath and tried to push those thoughts aside. As the ceremony commenced, the mayor took to the stage, his presence commanding silence and respect. Adam felt the audience's eyes flicker his way with growing intensity, curiosity swirling in the air. The mayor began discussing the vital contributions of various community members, weaving stories that celebrated the spirit of the people. Then came the moment Adam had both anticipated and dreaded. His name echoed through the plaza, resonating against the walls of nearby buildings. With a deep breath, he stepped forward, heart racing, every eye locked onto him. "Adam is a true example of resilience and dedication," the mayor began, his tone echoing authority and warmth. As he reached the podium, Adam's hands trembled. What did it mean, really? The laughter about his suit faded into the background, replaced by a sudden realization that the key represented more than just an award. It symbolized acceptance, triumph, and potential. The mayor handed the golden key to Adam, its weight tangible in his palm. A wave of applause cascaded over him, and for a fleeting moment, he could feel the energy of the crowd wrap around him like a warm embrace. He glanced at Emily in the crowd, her eyes wide with pride, tears of happiness shimmering in the corners. Adam's voice rang out, gaining strength with each word. "This key, it's not just a recognition of my work, it's a testament to the community that has shaped me." The audience erupted in cheers. He felt the adrenaline surge, drowning out the insecurities that had shadowed him. For that moment, he was not just the guy in an old suit, he was a symbol of hope and change, standing at the forefront of a new beginning. As he stepped down from the podium, the crowd surged toward him. Hugs and handshakes enveloped him, and it felt surreal. Emily was right there amidst the celebration. She shouted, grabbing him firmly by the shoulders. He couldn't help but laugh. He held up the key, still gleaming in the fading light. Emily's eyes glimmered with excitement, the teasing taking a backseat to admiration. But as they spoke, Adam couldn't shake the itch of doubt that lingered beneath the surface. What if this moment was just a fluke? What if the key didn't unlock anything significant in his life? "Don't think like that," he tried to push the thoughts away. It was time to celebrate. It was finally time to recognize his worth. The celebration continued around them, laughter and chatter filling the air, but Adam's mind slipped back to the warmth of Emily's gaze. He had been so focused on his old suit that he hadn't realized how far he'd come, how far they both had journeyed together. Later that evening, as fireworks lit up the night sky, a sense of clarity washed over him. He took a moment to step away from the crowd, leaning against a warm stone wall, the golden key still hanging around his neck. Emily joined him, her presence calming yet electric at the same time. She asked softly, her voice gentle amid the noise of celebration. He took a deep breath, letting it out slowly. "Yeah, I was just thinking about how crazy all this is." She nodded, her gaze steady. "It's a transformation, Adam, but you have to believe it too." He looked at her, searching for answers in her eyes. "I guess it just feels surreal, like what if I can't follow through tomorrow?" "Then don't think about tomorrow right now," she advised, stepping closer, her hand brushing against his. "Think about today. You've inspired people. You've made them believe in community." Her words sunk deep into his heart. For the first time in a long time, he felt understood. Maybe this was about more than just the key or the suit. It was about embracing who he was, every part of his journey, the struggles he had faced to get here. As the last firework lit up the night sky, crackling brilliance illuminating their faces, Adam felt a shift within himself. Maybe this old suit had served its purpose. It was a reminder of where he had come from and how far he was willing to go. "Thanks, Emily," he finally said, pulling her close. She smiled, a radiant expression that lit up the dark. They stayed there, lost in the moment, wrapped in warmth and friendship. The laughter of the crowd faded into a soft hum, and for just a while the world around them felt perfect. The night wore on, and as they walked back hand in hand, the streets filled with friends and neighbors, Adam couldn't help but feel a wave of optimism. With each step he felt lighter, as if the old suit was shedding from him with every laugh and smile shared. The city had opened its arms to him. He had the key, yes, but it was more than that. It was an invitation to embrace all that lay ahead. Maybe together they could write a new story, one filled with unexpected twists and moments of growth. Behind them, the party continued, filling the air with energy. But for Adam and Emily, the world felt expansive, ready for exploration. He looked down at the key hanging around his neck, a symbol of new beginnings. "This is just the beginning," he said, squeezing Emily's hand tightly. "I know," she replied, her voice steady, her confidence like a beacon. As they wandered through the streets, side by side, Adam couldn't help but believe her. The laughter, the support, the shared experience lit a fire within him, igniting a passion he had long buried. He felt as though he was stepping into a realm of possibilities that stretched out before him like an open road, and with each stride he embraced the journey ahead. The key to the city was just the start, but the key to his heart was Emily. Together they would navigate the twists and turns, opening new doors that would lead to a future filled with inspiration, hope, and endless adventures. Their laughter mingled with the echoes of celebration, blending into a tapestry of memories yet to be woven, each thread vibrant and alive with promise. Little did they know, the story they were crafting together would inspire others to find their own keys, unlocking the doors to dreams and the beautiful unknown waiting just beyond the horizon. The bustling plaza was alive with excitement, voices merging into a vibrant tapestry of sound. Adam stood near the back, his palms clammy and his heart racing. He could feel a pit forming in his stomach. All around him were relatives, friends, and well-wishers gathering for the annual city celebration. The evening air was fragrant with the smell of barbecue and sweet pastries, yet he felt detached, as if he were in a bubble of anxiety. He glanced down at his suit. It was old, showing signs of wear and tear like it had weathered many storms. The fabric had lost its sheen long ago, and the cuffs were frayed. He couldn't shake the voice in his head taunting him. Just then he felt a familiar presence approach. Emily wove through the crowd, her laugh a melody against the backdrop of chatter. She spotted him, her eyes widening in playful surprise. "Wow, Adam," she teased, a smirk on her face. Laughter erupted from nearby guests, and Adam's cheeks flushed crimson. "Very funny, Em," he replied, trying to keep his tone light. "Vintage," she shot back, her grin widening. There was something in her teasing that made him feel comfortable, even in his discomfort. He knew she meant well. "What's the matter?" As Adam opened his mouth to retort, a wave of nerves swept over him again. Sure, he could take Emily's jokes, but what would everyone else think? Today wasn't just another event. It was the chance to receive the key to the city, a recognition of all his hard work. Glancing at the stage, he noticed the dignitaries milling about. A flicker of doubt danced in his mind. What if they see me as just? The mayor took the stage, his voice booming across the plaza. Each word resonated with urgency, painting a picture of hope and unity. Adam's heart raced. He was on edge, his anxiety bubbling beneath the surface. What if he stumbled? What if he couldn't convey the right emotions? As the mayor continued speaking, Adam's thoughts drifted to the future, filled with fear. Then he caught sight of the mayor reaching for a golden object with a glint so bright it stole the breath from his lungs. It was the key, the epitome of honor, respect, and authority, the very thing he had imagined receiving since he was a child. He blinked, his heart pounding, the anticipation clawing at him. Time felt sticky, as if he had to wade through a thick fog of doubt to reach the front. Every eye in the crowd turned towards him, and he suddenly felt as if he were a character under a spotlight, stripped bare before the world. "I'd rather not," he muttered under his breath, his heart roughly knocking against his ribs. Emily's gaze, however, pierced through the clouds of uncertainty. Her eyes sparkled with pride, encouraging him to walk forward. With an audible breath, Adam stepped onto the stage, each footfall registering louder than the last. The mayor welcomed him, his handshake firm, reassuring, grounding. "Congratulations, Adam." The words washed over him, and he felt a flicker of pride light up in his chest. But as the mayor raised the key high above his head, the glint caught Adam's eye once more. The key wasn't just an object, it represented possibility, a gateway to something greater than himself. As he took the key from the mayor, the crowd erupted into applause. Cheers erupted like fireworks, and in that stunning moment, Adam felt weightless. Time slowed as voices echoed around him, the warmth of the crowd engulfing him like a blanket. "I did it," he thought, a real smile breaking over his face. Beneath the applause, he caught Emily's eyes sparkling with joy, tears glistening at the corners. That spontaneous laughter about his suit, her teasing, both faded into the background, leaving only support and appreciation. He stood there, holding the key firmly. "Thank you," he said, his voice breaking slightly as he addressed the audience. "This key represents not just my work, but the collective effort of everyone in this community. Every event, every fair, every little action counts." The crowd roared with approval again, but this time it felt different. It felt as if they were cheering not just for him, but for all of them, for everyone's shared experiences, trials, and perseverance. As he stepped down from the stage, Emily rushed toward him, excitement dancing in her eyes. "You did it," she exclaimed. The energy between them shifted, a palpable connection that made that moment feel timeless. "Thanks, Em," he said, the pressure of preconceived expectations falling away. Her laughter rang in the air, pure and lively. Instead of embarrassment, he felt a surge of determination. "Maybe this old suit isn't so bad after all," he joked, the weight of his worries shifting as the buoyancy of joy took its place. Later, as the sun dipped beneath the horizon, Adam found himself surrounded by friends as they celebrated. The key firmly in his pocket served as a reminder of what he had achieved. But deeper than the acknowledgement, he felt a profound connection to the people around him, countless faces who had shared the journey. Someone shouted, pulling him into the center of a group. Laughter bubbled around him as he posed, arms wrapped around friends who had cheered him on through thick and thin. The night carried on with music and dance, and though he had been nervous earlier, Adam felt electrified by the energy surging through the crowd. With Emily by his side, he moved with a confidence he hadn't known before, the key a silent companion at his side. As midnight approached, Adam retreated to a quieter corner of the plaza, his heart still racing. The golden key dangled from its ribbon around his neck, glowing softly in the moonlight. Emily joined him, her eyes curious. He looked at her, the question making him pause. "I thought this day would define me, but now I realize it's just a stepping stone," he admitted, feeling unguarded and candid. Emily nodded, understanding shining in her gaze. "Absolutely, it's not the suit or the title that matters," he asked, a teasing smile dancing on his lips, but there was sincerity behind it. She laughed, her eyes twinkling like stars. In that moment, something shifted. It wasn't just a friendly banter, it was a realization of their friendship and the promise of what lay ahead. He could sense the potential, the connection deepening beyond mere friendships into something more profound. As they stood together, the dark sky twinkling with stars, Adam made a silent vow. He would embrace this opportunity, not only to honor himself, but to engage his community. He could be a beacon of hope and inspiration, shining brightly like the key that had transformed his night. Days turned into weeks, and the thrill of the celebration lingered longer in his heart than he anticipated. The key served as a reminder, propelling him to pursue community projects, to engage with locals, and to encourage others to strive for greatness. He collaborated on events promoting local talent, organized fairs that celebrated diversity, and even initiated workshops that brought together voices from all walks of life. Each step he took reaffirmed the sense of belonging he had often craved but never fully embraced. Emily was there every step of the way, her passion contagious, pushing him to dig deeper and find purpose. "You'll make an even bigger impact than you can imagine," she said one evening, her inspiration revitalizing his spirit. Slowly, as word spread about their initiatives, more people joined in, adding diverse perspectives, skills, and energy. The community began to transform before their eyes, breathing life into the once quiet plaza, turning it into a hub of activity. One sunlit morning, as they gathered to organize a community art project, Emily caught his eye and smiled knowingly. Adam nodded, pride swelling within him. It was exhilarating to witness this change. Then he realized it was more than just about the key or the old suit. It was about understanding that transformations can be gradual, collective, and deeply fulfilling. With every event, they had chipped away at the walls of doubt, crafting a new narrative, one of success, unity, and connection. Underneath all the laughter and teamwork was a bond strengthening between Adam and Emily, an unspoken promise that they would venture further together. As summer turned into fall, the changes throughout the plaza mirrored the shifting seasons. More people had joined them, standing shoulder to shoulder to build a vibrant, inclusive community, a powerful testament to what could be accomplished when people united for a shared cause. One crisp evening, while closing up after an event, Adam turned to Emily, gratitude overflowing in his heart. "I couldn't have done this without you," he confessed earnestly. "Just returning the favor," she chuckled, her eyes reflecting warmth. "You become a beacon for others, Adam." As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in blush and violet, Adam looked around at the laughter and connection blooming around him. They had transformed the plaza into a true community space, one that thrived on creativity and collaboration. That day, he realized that the old suit hadn't defined him. It was a part of his journey, yes, but the foundation for everything he had built rested in the connections forged and the courage found through connection. With Emily by his side, he had rediscovered the essence of purpose, and together they had crafted something far beyond mere recognition. They had built a legacy, one that would ripple through the community for years to come. As the first stars blinked to life above, Adam and Emily stood together, hands entwined, hearts aglow with possibility. The bustling plaza was alive with excitement, voices merging into a vibrant tapestry of sound. Adam stood near the back, his palms clammy and his heart racing. He could feel a pit forming in his stomach. All around him were relatives, friends, and well-wishers gathering for the annual city celebration. The evening air was fragrant with the smell of barbecue and sweet pastries, yet he felt detached, as if he were in a bubble of anxiety. He glanced down at his suit. It was old, showing signs of wear and tear like it had weathered many storms. The fabric had lost its sheen long ago, and the cuffs were frayed. He couldn't shake the voice in his head taunting him. Just then he felt a familiar presence approach. Emily wove through the crowd, her laugh a melody against the backdrop of chatter. She spotted him, her eyes widening in playful surprise. "Wow, Adam," she teased, a smirk on her face. His cheeks flushed as laughter erupted from those nearby. "Very funny, Em," he replied, trying to keep his tone light. "Vintage," she shot back, her grin widening. There was something in her teasing that made him feel comfortable, even in his discomfort. He knew she meant well. "What's the matter?" As Adam opened his mouth to retort, a wave of nerves swept over him again. Sure, he could take Emily's jokes, but what would everyone else think? Today wasn't just another event. It was his chance to receive the key to the city, a recognition of all his hard work. Glancing at the stage, he noticed the dignitaries milling about. A flicker of doubt danced in his mind. What if they see me as just? The mayor took the stage, his voice booming across the plaza. Each word resonated with urgency, painting a picture of hope and unity. Adam's heart raced. He was on edge, his anxiety bubbling beneath the surface. What if he stumbled? What if he couldn't convey the right emotions? As the mayor continued speaking, Adam's thoughts drifted to the future, filled with fear. Then he caught sight of the mayor reaching for a golden object that glinted brightly under the sun. It was the key, the epitome of honor, respect, and authority, the very thing he had imagined receiving since he was a child. He blinked, his heart pounding, the anticipation clawing at him. Time felt sticky, as if he had to wade through a thick fog of doubt to reach the front. Every eye in the crowd turned towards him, and he suddenly felt as if he were a character under a spotlight, stripped bare before the world. "I'd rather not," he muttered under his breath, his heart roughly knocking against his ribs. Emily's gaze, however, pierced through the clouds of uncertainty. Her eyes sparkled with pride, encouraging him to walk forward. With an audible breath, Adam stepped onto the stage, each footfall registering louder than the last. The mayor welcomed him, his handshake firm, reassuring, grounding. "Congratulations, Adam." The words washed over him, and he felt a flicker of pride light up in his chest. But as the mayor raised the key high above his head, the glint caught Adam's eye once more. The key wasn't just an object, it represented possibility, a gateway to something greater than himself. As he took the key from the mayor, the crowd erupted into applause. Cheers erupted like fireworks, and in that stunning moment, Adam felt weightless. Time slowed as voices echoed around him, the warmth of the crowd engulfing him like a blanket. "I did it," he thought, a real smile breaking over his face. Beneath the applause, he caught Emily's eyes sparkling with joy, tears glistening at the corners. That spontaneous laughter about his suit, her teasing, both faded into the background, leaving only support and appreciation. He stood there, holding the key firmly. "Thank you," he said, his voice breaking slightly as he addressed the audience. "This key represents not just my work, but the collective effort of everyone in this community. Every event, every fair, every little action counts." The crowd roared with approval again, but this time it felt different. It felt as if they were cheering not just for him, but for all of them, for everyone's shared experiences, trials, and perseverance. As he stepped down from the stage, Emily rushed toward him, excitement dancing in her eyes. "You did it," she exclaimed. The energy between them shifted, a palpable connection that made that moment feel timeless. "Thanks, Em," he said, the pressure of preconceived expectations falling away. Her laughter rang in the air, pure and lively. Instead of embarrassment, he felt a surge of determination. Maybe this old suit isn't so bad after all, he joked, the weight of his worries shifting as the buoyancy of joy took its place. Later, as the sun dipped beneath the horizon, Adam found himself surrounded by friends as they celebrated. The key firmly in his pocket served as a reminder of what he had achieved. But deeper than the acknowledgement, he felt a profound connection to the people around him, countless faces who had shared the journey. Someone shouted, pulling him into the center of a group. Laughter bubbled around him as he posed, arms wrapped around friends who had cheered him on through thick and thin. The night carried on with music and dance, and though he had been nervous earlier, Adam felt electrified by the energy surging through the crowd. With Emily by his side, he moved with a confidence he hadn't known before, the key a silent companion at his side. As midnight approached, Adam retreated to a quieter corner of the plaza, his heart still racing. The golden key dangled from its ribbon around his neck, glowing softly in the moonlight. Emily joined him, her eyes curious. He looked at her, the question making him pause. "Yeah, I was just thinking about how crazy all this is." She nodded, her gaze steady. "It's a transformation, Adam, but you have to believe it too." He looked down at the key, wonder seeping into his thoughts. "I guess it just feels surreal, like what if I can't follow through tomorrow?" "Then don't think about tomorrow right now," she advised, stepping closer, her hand brushing against his. "Think about today. You've inspired people. You've made them believe in community." Her words sunk deep into his heart. For the first time in a long time, he felt understood. Maybe this was about more than just the key or the suit. It was about embracing who he was, every part of his journey, the struggles he had faced to get here. As the last firework lit up the night sky, crackling brilliance illuminating their faces, Adam felt a shift within himself. Maybe this old suit had served its purpose. It was a reminder of where he had come from and how far he was willing to go. "Thanks, Emily," he finally said, pulling her close. "Just returning the favor," she chuckled, her eyes reflecting warmth. "You've become a beacon for others, Adam." As the night wore on, the music faded and the crowd began to disperse, but Adam and Emily remained side by side, savoring the moment. Emily suggested, her eyes igniting with enthusiasm. "Sounds perfect," Adam agreed, feeling lighter than air. They strolled through the quieting streets, illuminated by streetlights. The conversations about dreams and visions filled the air, a mixture of hope and ambition. Emily asked. Adam chuckled, memories flooding back. "Yeah, but I was just the kid in the old suit back then too," he replied, his words tinged with nostalgia. "But you did." Her enthusiasm filled him with pride, like a balloon floating higher with every word. "What's next for you, Adam?" He paused, deep in thought. "I want to use it to really connect with the community. I want to create programs, start initiatives that empower others." Emily's expression softened, her eyes glistening. Hand in hand, they arrived at the cafe, a cozy little spot that felt like a hidden gem. They settled into a corner table, and the atmosphere wrapped around them like a warm hug. As they discussed their plans, the cafe buzzed with life. Adam felt invigorated by the ideas pouring out of them, each conversation drawing them closer together. With every shared vision, every laugh, it became clear, this journey was not just about the key. It was about the friendships forged, the moments shared, and the community built. Weeks passed, and Adam threw himself into his new role. The key hung from his neck like an anchor, guiding him. He organized charity drives, business fairs, and even cooking classes that brought people together and showcased their diverse talents. With Emily by his side, they became a dynamic team, working tirelessly to ensure everyone felt included and valued. They shared laughs and late nights, each endeavor strengthening the bond they'd formed. One day, as they prepared for another event, Emily turned to him with an idea. "You know, we should create an award based on community involvement," she suggested, her eyes shining. Adam exclaimed, "We could name it after the key." And just like that, the Key to Community * award was born. The two of them worked relentlessly to create a program that encouraged neighbors to come together, showcase their talents, and celebrate what made their community unique. The first ceremony was a resounding success, and as they looked out into the sea of grateful faces, the pride surged within Adam. "Look at what we've built," Emily whispered, her smile radiant. "I couldn't have done it without you," he replied, feeling an overwhelming sense of gratitude. "This whole journey has changed me." She beamed at him, an expression of mutual pride that warmed his heart. As seasons changed, so did the community. Their initiatives brought families together, forging bonds that ran deeper than any individual had thought possible. Adam realized that the key he had received was not an endpoint but a beginning, a catalyst for change. One evening, as the sun dipped low, they stood together, observing the plaza filled with laughter and camaraderie. The transformations had impact beyond what they had imagined. "We did this," Adam stated, his voice filled with awe. "Yes, and it's just the start," Emily replied, leaning into him, their connection more profound than ever. As winter approached, the community gathered to celebrate their achievements in a final event of the year. Under a canopy of shimmering lights in the plaza, families came together to share stories and laughter, a warm glow encapsulating the spirit of togetherness. As he stood on stage once more, holding the key aloft, Adam realized how far he had come. The old suit was a symbol of his beginnings, but now it was so much more. It was about legacy, friendship, and the shared experience that lay ahead. He declared, the crowd erupting in cheers. Emily stood close by, eyes glimmering with pride, reinforcing his words. They shared a glance, and within that moment, both knew this journey had transformed them forever. As the festivities continued, laughter mingled with music, creating a symphony of joy and connection. Adam felt the work they had done settle deep into his heart. It had shifted something inside him, a realization that true transformation comes when we open ourselves up to others. With Emily by his side, he understood that the key was not simply a token. It was the embodiment of every laugh shared, every story told, and every dream ignited in one another's hearts. The future stretched before them like an open road, full of promise and potential. Together, hand in hand, they would navigate through the unknown, creating a lasting impact wherever their journey led. And that night under the stars, with the key resting against his heart, Adam knew they would write a beautiful story together, one that echoed through their vibrant, thriving community for generations to come. The crowd buzzed with excitement, a wave of cheers and laughter cascading through the plaza like a summer breeze. Adam stood at the edge, feeling a mix of anticipation and dread coiling in his stomach. Today was the annual city celebration, and all eyes were on the stage where the mayor would present the key to the city. But Adam's eyes drifted to his old, fraying suit, held together by good intentions and a little awkwardness. The fabric was a deep navy blue, but age had dulled its charm. He could almost hear the whispers, the unspoken judgments. Just then Emily strolled by, her laughter ringing like a bell, fresh and bright. She stopped when she spotted him, and a playful grin stretched across her face. "Wow, Adam, are you seriously wearing that ancient suit?" Her voice danced through the air, light and teasing. Laughter rippled through the nearby crowd, and Adam's cheeks flamed. "Ha ha, very funny, Emily," he shot back, trying to keep it light, but the embarrassment was palpable. "Look, all I'm saying is, maybe next time you should consider a little upgrade," she chimed, her playful tone easing the tension in his chest. He appreciated her humor, but inside he felt the weight of his own insecurities. He adjusted his tie, feeling like an imposter amongst the well-dressed crowd. "I didn't think it was a fashion show," he said half-heartedly. But beneath that joke was a kernel of truth. This day meant everything to him. Today could change the trajectory of his life. As he gazed across the plaza with its colorful banners and jubilant people, he felt that familiar anxiety creep back in. "Hey," Emily said, her voice dropping to a softer tone. "You're going to do just fine, trust me." He offered her a grateful smile, the warmth of her encouragement a brief balm to his frayed nerves. "Thanks, Em, I really," but before he could finish, the mayor's voice boomed through the speakers. "Welcome, everyone." At that moment, the noise around him faded, and Adam's heart thudded loudly in his ears. Could he really measure up to that? He felt small, insignificant. What if all his efforts were for nothing? Then he saw it. The mayor reached down, pulling up a gleaming golden key, lighting it up like a beacon under the sun. The moment felt heavy, charged with unspoken expectations, not just from the mayor, but from the entire crowd. Adam's stomach dropped. Every muscle in his body tensed at the prospect, yet a push of adrenaline surged through him. He could feel every eye fixated on him, every whisper echoing in his mind. The pit of doubt curled tighter. As he stepped forward, each footfall felt like he was wading through thick mud. But then he caught Emily's gaze, the sparkle of pride shining bright in her eyes. And just like that, the fog began to lift. With a deep breath, Adam ascended the stage. The mayor welcomed him with a smile, his handshake firm and reassuring. "Adam, your dedication to this community is commendable." And just like that, the fears evaporated, replaced by an unexpected warmth that filled his chest. As the mayor handed him the golden key, he felt it pulsate with potential. This was it, a defining moment, the culmination of all his hard work. The crowd erupted into applause, and Adam's heart soared. In that moment, he felt weightless, the laughter and teasing fading into the background. All that remained was triumph. He held the key high above his head, smiling as if he had grabbed hold of the stars themselves. He began, his voice resolute even as it trembled slightly with adrenaline. "This key symbolizes not just my individual journey, but our collective success as a community." Cheers erupted again, echoing against the walls of the plaza. Each clap of hands surged through him, fueling his newfound confidence. As he stepped down from the podium, he searched for Emily in the crowd, her enthusiastic cheer ringing out above everyone else. "You did it," she exclaimed, her joyous energy washing over him like sunlight. He couldn't help but bubble over with laughter. "Thanks, I couldn't have done it without you," he replied, genuine gratitude seeping into his voice. They moved away from the crowd, celebrating quietly. The golden key dangled from Adam's neck, a reminder of what he had achieved, but also an invitation to think bigger. Days turned into weeks, and the recognition fueled Adam's desire to contribute more. He reached out to local organizations, seeking ways to engage and uplift the community even further. With Emily by his side, they collaborated on events that brought people together, showcasing local talents that had once been hidden away. One humid afternoon, they organized a community fair in the park. Children laughed and played as the smell of grilled food wafted through the air. Tables lined the walkway, filled with handcrafted goods, art, and smiling faces. As he walked through, Adam felt an overwhelming sense of pride. Each booth represented a story, a life woven into the fabric of the community. He stopped to chat with a group of artists, listening to their passion, their struggles, and their dreams. Emily asked, her eyes bright with excitement as she joined him. "Look at everyone coming together." "It really is," he agreed, a smile broadening on his face. Just then, an older woman approached them, her face beaming with gratitude. "You've done so much for us, Adam. This fair has brought everyone together." His heart swelled at her words, and he felt a warmth he'd never quite experienced before. It was as if each kind interaction fed a part of him that had long been starved for connection. "I'm just doing what I can," he replied, yet deep down he knew this wasn't just about him. It was about all of them, a shared vision coming to life. Weeks rolled on, and Adam dove deeper into his role as a community leader, gaining momentum with each event he helped organize. He began to find his voice and purpose. But he never lost sight of the insecurities he had once felt. One evening, after a particularly successful town hall meeting, he and Emily congratulated each other with a celebratory coffee. "Today was a win," she smiled, leaning in. "Thanks, but I still feel like that guy in the old suit sometimes," he admitted, a hint of doubt creeping through. "Hey," Emily interrupted, her tone serious yet warm. "You are not defined by a suit. Look at what you've accomplished." That key you received wasn't a mistake. Her words were like a strong gust of wind, blowing away the lingering doubts. "You're right," he said, conviction building. "I just want to keep adding value to our community." Emily nodded, her eyes shining with admiration. "And you will, you're doing it now. Think of the impact your journey can have on others." In that moment, Adam felt the resolve forming like steel within him. He thought about the old suit again, how it had been a source of insecurity, but also a testament to his journey. It symbolized where he had come from, and now it could serve as a beacon of hope for others. As the sun began to set, casting a warm golden light over the cafe, Adam made a silent vow. He would continue to create spaces where voices could be heard, where dreams could come alive, and where everyone felt valued. Each event they organized brought fresh energy, and slowly the stories began to weave together into something beautiful. There was an undeniable unity beginning to emerge, and Adam was becoming a crucial part of it. One afternoon, as he and Emily walked through the park, they stumbled upon a group of teenagers gathered around a basketball court. They watched as the kids laughed and competed, but Adam noticed the unevenness of the court, cracked asphalt and faded lines. "Look at this," he said, his brow furrowing. Emily's eyes lit up. "What if we organized a fundraising event?" "Brilliant, let's do it," Adam agreed eagerly. That single conversation sparked a new initiative, an event to raise funds for the court renovation. As they engaged with local businesses for sponsorships and promotional support, excitement spread through the community. Flyers went up, murmurs of anticipation rippled through schools and homes, and everyone rallied behind the cause. Day by day, Adam felt invigorated, the planning meetings filled with energy. Ideas flowed freely, the laughter echoing in his heart, and as the day of the event approached, he noticed something amazing unfolding. It wasn't just about fixing the basketball court, it became a symbol of collaboration, demonstrating what they could achieve together. On the day of the fundraiser, the park was alive once more, but this time it was brimming with people. Tables lined the walkway, games filled the air with the sounds of joy, and a palpable energy crackled as the community came alive. As Adam watched people coming together, families, friends, and neighbors, a wave of gratitude washed over him. This had become a movement, testament to the heart of their community. Emily stood next to him, her eyes mirroring his emotions. She whispered, her voice cracking with excitement. "When you give people something to rally behind, it ignites passion," Adam replied, feeling more sure of himself than ever. The day carried on, filled with laughter, games, and speeches from local heroes, emphasizing the importance of community engagement. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the park, the donation results were announced. They had exceeded their goal. Cheers erupted, and for a moment, Adam stood frozen, absorbing the magnitude of it all. This wasn't just a basketball court, it was a unity of purpose, a shared dream manifested through their dreams and efforts. He exclaimed, adrenaline surging through him. "This is just the beginning." Cheers roared again, and Adam's heart soared. Emily's laughter rang like melody, echoing the joy of the crowd. But in the midst of the celebration, he caught sight of something glimmering in the fading sunlight, the golden key hanging around his neck. Mirrored against the backdrop of the joyful crowd, a reminder of the journey he'd taken, the struggles he'd faced, and the incredible connections he had forged. When the event wrapped up, Adam and Emily walked through the park, now filled with warmth and vibrancy. Emily remarked, her voice soft yet undeniable. He nodded, his heart full. "I never imagined I could inspire this kind of change." "You deserve every bit of it," she replied, offering a heartfelt smile. "But remember, you won't stop here." Adam grinned, his chest swelling with pride. Together they walked back through the park, laughter swirling around them like the leaves in the wind. Adam had transformed from the nervous young man in the old suit to a leader who realized his worth. As they stood beneath the vast night sky filled with stars, Adam felt the key's weight, heavy yet light, filled with potential. He had faced the past and was now prepared to step into the future, hand in hand with a community and a friend who made him believe that something greater was possible. The journey was far from over, it was just beginning, and as they stood united, Emily's smile mirrored his own, both eager for what lay ahead. They had unlocked the doors to infinite possibilities together, ready to write the next chapter. The sun hung low over the city, casting golden light across the bustling plaza filled with chatter and laughter. Adam stood off to the side, his heart pounding louder than the music blaring from the stage. It was the annual city celebration, a day he had looked forward to for months, but he felt a knot tightening in his stomach. His gaze fell to the old suit he wore, frayed at the cuffs and creased in all the wrong places. "Wow, Adam," a playful voice cut through the crowd, snapping him from his thoughts. Emily strolled toward him, mischief dancing in her eyes. Laughter erupted from a small group nearby, and Adam felt the heat rise to his cheeks. "Very funny, Em," he managed, though his tone was laced with embarrassment. "I mean, with that suit, you'd fit right in with the founding fathers," she quipped, winking as she nudged him playfully. He forced a chuckle, trying to shake off the unease creeping over him. Though Emily's words were meant in jest, the truth stung deep. The suit felt like a symbol of everything he was trying to escape: mediocrity, insecurity, lack of ambition. If only it came with a time machine, he joked back, but in his heart he felt flat. This day wasn't just about the celebrations, it was about being recognized by the community. The mayor would hand out the key to the city today, a powerful symbol of achievement, and Adam had one goal: to leave a mark that would resonate. As Emily's laughter faded into the background, he tried to focus on the stage where the mayor stood, preparing to announce the award recipients. The crowd was a sea of eager faces, all buzzing with excitement, while Adam felt like an island, isolated in his old-fashioned suit. The mayor's voice boomed through the microphone, pulling the crowd's attention back to him. Today is a day to acknowledge those who uplift our community. Adam's heart skipped a beat. This was it. He was being called. He was sure of it. "Please don't let it be me," he whispered to himself as fear wrapped around his chest, but the mayor continued. The name echoed like thunder. Every inch of Adam's body froze. Was he ready? Could he do this? The doubts raged in his mind. What if they saw him not as the hero they thought he was, but as the boy in the old, worn-out suit? With a shaky breath, Adam stepped forward, forcing one foot in front of the other. As he climbed the steps to the stage, he caught a glimpse of Emily's supportive smile, radiating confidence. She gave him a thumbs up, an anchor in his stormy sea of self-doubt. At the podium, the mayor looked at him with a proud expression. "Adam, your commitment to our community is truly inspiring." The crowd erupted into applause, and Adam felt warmth flood through him. The old suit felt lighter somehow, as if it were shedding layers that had once weighed him down. "Thank you," he began, his voice trembling slightly. "This key is not merely for me, it is for all of us." As he spoke, he found strength in his words. Every doubt began to fade. The key the mayor held, a shining golden object, symbolized more than achievement. It represented hope and the potential for change. "I am honored to accept this key," Adam continued, raising it high. "But let us remember that this is just the beginning." The crowd cheered again, and this time Adam felt invincible. He walked off the stage, the energy of the crowd wrapping around him like a warm embrace. Emily rushed to him, her eyes gleaming. She exclaimed. His voice was filled with warmth as gratitude welled up inside him. "But seriously about that suit," she teased lightly, nudging him again. "Sure, but I think I'll keep this old thing as a reminder of where I started," he replied, chuckling. But deep down, he felt eager to step beyond the shadows of his self-doubt and embrace the future. The energy of the celebration pushed him forward, and as the day unfolded, it became a whirlwind of joy and laughter. Weeks sped by, and the golden key around Adam's neck transformed into more than just recognition. It became a driving force. With Emily by his side, he began organizing community events aimed at connecting people, creating opportunities, and cultivating a spirit of collaboration. One sunny afternoon, they hosted a neighborhood cleanup. As they picked up litter and painted playground benches, Adam felt the atmosphere shift. People from different walks of life came together: families, teens, retirees, all drawn in by the simple yet powerful idea of making their community better. "See," Emily exclaimed, stepping back to admire their work. "You're inspiring change, Adam," he beamed, feeling a sense of purpose solidifying within him. "It's not just about me," he replied, watching the laughter and cooperation unfold around him. As they worked, Adam began to notice the faces of those who came together. They weren't just strangers anymore. They were neighbors, collaborators, a community united in a common goal. But the journey wasn't without its challenges. There were setbacks, events that didn't pan out as they had planned, and moments of doubt when the weight of expectations felt heavy again. On one tough day, he sat on a park bench, head in his hands, frustration simmering. Emily joined him, her presence comforting. She asked gently, "I want to make a real difference," he admitted, voice barely above a whisper. "Don't be too hard on yourself," she replied, her tone steady. "Change takes time. You're laying the groundwork for something incredible." He looked up, meeting her gaze, and felt a flicker of warmth reignite. "You're right, I just need to keep pushing forward." With renewed resolve, Adam dove back into the work, organizing events, speaking in schools, and connecting with local businesses. The momentum began to build again, each connection weaving a stronger fabric for the community. Emily was a constant during this journey, her laughter and encouragement a beacon in his life. They often found themselves lost in conversations about dreams, aspirations, and ways to ignite change. As the time passed, Adam felt an evolution happening within him. One night, after a long day of planning, he and Emily sat on the roof of the community center, gazing at the stars. She asked, her voice soft as if not to disturb the tranquility of the night. "All the time," he admitted, searching the sky for the right words. "This key, it feels like just the start." She smiled, a knowing look in her eyes. "I believe in that future because of what you're building." Adam felt her words resonate within him, a comforting reminder that he had allies, friends, and a whole community willing to stand together. As spring blossomed into summer, they organized larger events, festivals that brought food, music, art, and laughter. The more they engaged with their community, the more Adam's confidence flourished. But late one evening, amid the frenzy of planning and work, they faced a significant hurdle. Community center meeting turned heated, with debates flaring about what spaces should receive funds and attention. Adam listened as voices clashed, confusion swirling in the air. Someone pointedly remarked. Adam's heart sank. This wasn't just about budgets, it was about feelings, the belief that community mattered. As conflict arose, he stepped forward. "Wait, let's not forget that art and culture are part of what makes us whole." As he spoke, the crowd quieted, the tension in the room palpable. "We need to embrace all facets of our community." The room buzzed with murmurs, and gradually people began to nod. Emily chimed in, echoing his sentiments. With every voice rising in agreement, Adam felt the collective shift. The crowd began to coalesce in support of creating an inclusive budget that honored the unique contributions of each part of the community. "Maybe we can allocate something for both," the mayor suggested. That night marked a turning point for Adam. He had stood tall amid the storm, his voice rising above doubt. The old suit might have felt like a weight once, but now it served as a reminder that appearances didn't matter. It was about the strength of character behind them. Through teamwork, they crafted a plan that honored both passions, art, and essential services, uniting the community in the process. As the weeks passed and the time approached for the festival, excitement electrified the air. Families poured into the plaza, ready to celebrate their work, and Adam felt alive. He stood back, watching as laughter erupted and connections thrived. Emily said, her face alight with joy, "You've done it, Adam." "You've been right here every step of the way," he replied, grateful for her presence. As the night unfolded, performers filled the stage with music, artists showcased their work, and there was an undeniable sense of unity. With each interaction, Adam felt the hope of the community vibrate through him, a pulse that reminded him why he had begun this journey. Amid the laughter and celebration, the mayor stepped up to the podium one last time. "Tonight we celebrate not just our individual achievements, but the power of coming together as one." Adam looked around, filled with emotion. This wasn't just his moment, it belonged to everyone who had supported the journey. As the night drew to close, the mayor approached Adam, a smile on his face. "You've made quite the impact, Adam. This key is not just an award, it represents the trust and resilience of our community." The crowd erupted into applause, and Adam stood awash in admiration. Golden key dangled from his neck, momentarily heavy with meaning. It was a reminder not just of the accomplishments, but of the bond they had forged as a community. With every challenge faced and every dream pursued, Adam realized that maybe the old suit had served its purpose. What mattered was the heart he had poured into the work and the connections he had forged along the way. That evening, as the stars twinkled above and laughter filled the air, Adam drew a deep breath. The journey was far from over. There were still mountains to climb and pathways to forge, but he knew one thing: he wouldn't do it alone. With Emily and the community at his back, he was prepared to embrace every victory and hardship to come. And as the warm summer breeze danced through the plaza, he felt invincible. The key to the city had opened more than just doors. It had unlocked the belief that together anything was truly possible. The crowd was alive with laughter and chatter, music pulsing from speakers hidden among vibrant banners. Adam stood at the back of the plaza, his heart racing as he fidgeted with the frayed cuffs of his suit. This was not just another city event. This was the annual celebration where the mayor handed out the key to the city, a recognition he had dreamed of since he was a kid. Yet today felt different. As he looked at the sea of sharp suits and pretty dresses, a swell of anxiety twisted in his stomach like a knot. The suit he wore was old, faded, and didn't hold the authority he wished it did. Suddenly, the laughter broke through his thoughts. Emily sauntered towards him, her vibrant energy slicing through the crowd. She spotted him and paused, chin tilted, an impish smile creeping across her face. "Wow, Adam, are you seriously wearing that old suit?" Giggles erupted from nearby, and the heat rushed to Adam's cheeks. "Very funny, Emily," he replied, trying to deflect her teasing with a bravado he didn't feel. "Oh, come on, at least the frayed cuffs give it some character," she mocked lightly, her eyes glistening with mischief. He could see the affection behind her words, but today the jest cut a little deeper than usual. "This is not just about the suit," he mumbled, stealing a glance at the podium where the mayor stood amid dignitaries, adjusting his glasses and preparing to speak. Adam felt a deep unease. Sure, he could laugh and smile, but what if today was not just a celebration but an unveiling of his deepest insecurities? Emily's voice reached him again, softer now. "You've worked hard for this. You're standing on the precipice of something big." "Right," Adam replied, feeling the weight of her encouragement. But self-doubt lingered like a dark cloud. Would anyone look past his old suit today? Before he could wallow in those thoughts, the mayor's voice boomed through the plaza. "Welcome, everyone." The applause rolled like waves, and Adam felt the tension coiling tighter. Each clap reverberated through him. What if he stumbled? What if he didn't belong here? The mayor continued, his voice resonating with pride. "Today we honor those who make a difference." He paused, scanning the crowd like a seasoned performer, and as he pointed towards Adam, the crowd erupted with cheers. Every heartbeat thundered in Adam's ears. This wasn't happening. The old suit weighed heavier with every step forward. His mind raced. What if his words fumbled? What if he wasn't enough? As he climbed the stairs to the stage, a burst of shouts encouraged him, and amidst the clamor, he caught sight of Emily. There she stood, clapping passionately, her face bright with pride. Her unwavering support anchored him, pushing away the storm in his gut. "Congratulations, Adam," the mayor said, his handshake firm and reassuring. "Your dedication to our community has not gone unnoticed." With the spotlight on him, Adam felt time slow. As the mayor handed him the key to the city, the golden medal gleamed in the sunlight, a promise, a responsibility. This was his moment. He raised the key high, the audience erupting with applause and cheers. "Thank you. This key signifies not just my efforts, but the collective work of everyone here." The crowd roared, and Adam felt the rush of adrenaline surge through him. It wasn't just about acceptance, it was about connection, community, and the promise of what lay ahead. After the ceremony, he stepped down, still nearly floating, when Emily rushed to his side. She exclaimed, "Thanks." "I can't believe it," he stammered, still in disbelief. The pulse of triumph coursed through his veins. Emily nudged him playfully. She winked, laughter bubbling in her voice. Adam laughed, a genuine sound that danced on the evening air. As the celebration rolled on, Adam was swept up in waves of smiling faces and congratulations. Friends, family, and strangers alike stopped him to share their gratitude, their admiration. The old suit no longer mattered. It was about the journey that had brought him here. But beneath the surface, Adam felt an unshakable drive surge through him. He knew he couldn't stop here. The key opened doors, but what lay on the other side depended on what he chose to do next. Days turned into weeks, and Adam began to channel this newfound fire into action. He reached out to local organizations, desperate to blend his vision with the community's needs. With Emily at his side, he organized neighborhood cleanup days, art fairs, and charity food drives, reconnecting people and catalyzing grassroots movements. One sunny Saturday, they hosted a community garden event. Flourishing flowers filled the plaza, colors exploding in the sun. Families gathered, digging their hands into the earth, creating a sense of kinship that wrapped around him like a warm embrace. "See," Emily exclaimed, admiring their work. "I know." "It's incredible," Adam replied, watching kids smile while they painted flower pots. As they worked side by side, planting seedlings and sharing stories, Adam felt a transformation. These connections went beyond the surface. They barked at the very roots of their community. Each person there was part of something greater, a movement built not only on dreams, but on shared experiences. The weeks flashed by, filled with laughter and hard work. The community buzzed with activity, people engaging, sharing resources, and forging friendships. Adam felt lighter, the suit that once symbolized insecurity now wearing the triumph of his endeavors. Yet even amid this joy, Adam faced challenges. Some days felt heavy with doubt, especially when problems arose that felt insurmountable. One evening, after a long day of planning, Adam sunk into a chair, steam rising from a cup of tea beside him. "I just don't know if I'm making a real difference," he confessed to Emily, frustration tainting his voice. She sat beside him, her eyes narrowing in honest concern. "You're doing more than you realize. Change doesn't happen overnight. It takes time and persistence." He sighed, allows her words to wash over him. "Then let's reach out more," Emily suggested gently. "Let's listen to the community." Her encouragement was like a lifeline, pulling him back toward hope. "You're right," and so they did. Adam organized forums, inviting the community to voice their thoughts, dreams, and challenges. The response was overwhelming. People poured in, sharing stories of struggles, responsibilities, and aspirations. That night, sitting in a circle surrounded by passionate voices, Adam felt invigorated. Each idea sparked potential. One woman shared how much the youth needed mentorship programs, while another spoke of families struggling to find affordable housing. "Let's do it," Adam said, enthusiasm bubbling within him. "We'll create a mentorship program. Let's reach out to local businesses and schools." The crowd buzzed with excitement, and as they continued discussing their ideas, hope surged through the room. Adam's heart swelled. This was what he had envisioned, a community united, rallying behind one another to lift them all higher. As the weeks went on, their mentorship program flourished. High school students were paired with local professionals, creating bonds of guidance. The community garden continued to grow, with local artists donating sculptures and murals to add character. They built a network that thrived on creativity and collaboration, but through it all, challenges persisted. Not everyone believed in their vision, and there were obstacles, funding hurdles, voices of dissent, and moments where hope wavered. One chilly evening during a meeting in the community center, the tension in the air felt palpable. One loud voice rose against their plans, arguing that the focus on arts took away from essential needs. Adam felt doubt creep in once more. But as he listened, he felt a different kind of resolve forming. "We can tackle both," he said, standing strong. "Art is essential for our spirit, just as housing is for our shelter." The room fell silent, and Emily jumped in. "Imagine a festival that celebrates both our artists and our families in need, showcasing how they intertwine." Gradually, the voices turned from opposition to agreement, and ideas began to flow. It wasn't just Adam reciting missions, it was a shared vision of many people working hand in hand toward a brighter future. As summer crept toward fall, Adam felt stronger than ever. The key to the city hung from his neck like a reminder, a symbol of what they could achieve collectively. One sunny afternoon, as he strolled through the park where the festival would be held soon, he found Emily setting up for the event. Colorful banners flapped in the breeze as laughter echoed around them. Adam called, grinning. "Absolutely electric, excitement is in the air and people are eager to see what we've built together," she replied, tying down a banner. And there it was, in that moment he truly understood that this wasn't just about him anymore. It was about everyone who had listened, shared, participated, and even struggled through challenges. They were all part of this journey. As the festival approached, the community brought beauty to life, showcasing their artwork, food, and stories. Families gathered, laughter filled the air, and as the sun began to set, painting the sky in brilliant shades of orange and purple, the plaza transformed into a magical place. When the time came for Adam to speak, he stood back at the podium, the key glimmering with each movement. The crowd was smaller than during the awards ceremony, but their energy soared. "Welcome, today we gather not to simply celebrate achievements, but to honor the spirit of our unity," he began. The crowd erupted in cheers. Finally, Adam felt the weight of the old suit slip away. There was no longer a boy hidden beneath layers of insecurity. He had emerged as a leader, a voice buoyed by those who believed in him. The festival grew into a celebration of hope, laughter, and creativity, intertwining their destinies together. Each booth, each art piece reflected the hard work and passion that had forged this change. As darkness fell, lights twinkled like stars above, and Adam joined Emily among the celebration. They danced, laughed, and took in the beauty surrounding them. The laughter intertwined with the struggles, the joy mixed in with the tears. In that moment, he felt it, a knowing, a certainty that this was just the beginning. The key wasn't just a symbol of success, it was a promise to continue pushing boundaries, to weave new stories, and to uplift every voice in the community. And through every challenge faced, the laughter that filled the air and the connection he'd nurtured alongside Emily remained the foundation. They had created something powerful together, and he knew the journey wouldn't stop here. As the last fireworks burst into the night sky, sending sparks of light soaring, Adam took a deep breath. This was his community, his family, and together they would reach new heights. In the heart of that celebration, surrounded by love and support, he felt invincible. And no longer would that old suit define him. It was merely a stepping stone that had led him to this moment, a moment wrapped in hope, friendship, and the beautiful uncertainty of a bright future. The sun dipped low in the sky, casting a warm glow over the packed plaza as people buzzed with excitement. Adam stood nervously at the back, gripping the edges of his old suit jacket. The fabric was slightly frayed at the cuffs and a bit too loose around the shoulders, but it was the only formal outfit he owned. His heart thudded loudly, drowning out the sounds of laughter and conversation. Today was the city's annual celebration, and the mayor was going to present the key to the city. Adam had dreamed of this moment, the recognition, the applause, the chance to show he was more than just an ordinary guy. But standing there, he felt anything but extraordinary. Suddenly, a familiar voice sliced through his thoughts. "Is that your grandpa's suit, Adam?" Emily teased, walking up with that knowing grin plastered across her face. Laughter erupted from a small group of friends standing nearby, and Adam's cheeks flushed crimson. "Very funny, Em," he retorted, forcing a smile while his heart sank. "It's not like you're auditioning for a role in a historical drama," she quipped, winking at him. He chuckled then, grateful for her playful demeanor, yet that old suit felt like a weight around his shoulders, dragging him down. What if he stumbled over his words? What if they saw him as the boy in the worn jacket, unable to measure up to the expectations of the day? The mayor took the stage, instantly commanding the attention of the crowd, which hushed to a whisper. "Welcome, everyone." His voice resonated with warmth and authority, and Adam felt his heart race again. This was it. The mayor paused, scanning the faces of the crowd. Adam's heart pounded even harder, a drum echoing in his chest. Gasps of surprise echoed as heads turned towards him. Adam felt a wave of panic wash over him. Surely this was a mistake. He felt frozen like a deer caught in headlights. The gentle nudges and cheers from friends propelled him to move, but it felt like running through quicksand. "Come on," Emily called out softly, her eyes encouraging. The warmth of her gaze ignited a flicker of courage within him. Taking a deep breath, Adam stepped forward, each footfall echoing louder than the last. As he reached the podium, the mayor greeted him with a firm handshake, his smile reassuring. "Congratulations, Adam." The crowd erupted into applause, and for the briefest of moments, Adam could almost forget about the suit. Gripping the podium, he cleared his throat, allowing the cheers to wash over him. He said, finding strength in the crowd's energy, "This key represents not just my efforts, but the dedication of everyone here." The cheers grew louder, and Adam felt electricity surge through him. With that, the mayor handed him the golden key shining brightly in the afternoon sun. It felt heavy in his hand, but not in a burdensome way. It was more like accepting a crown of responsibility and honor. As Adam stepped down, he glanced around, trying to soak in the moment. There was Emily, devouring the moment with a proud grin, her cheers mingling with the crowd's admiration. He couldn't help but grin back, overwhelmed by exhilaration. Emily exclaimed, her enthusiasm contagious. "The key looks good on you. Thanks, but I think the suit steals the show," he joked, feeling lighter with every word exchanged. As the celebration continued, Adam was swept up in a whirlwind of congratulations. People clapped him on the back, offered heartfelt compliments, and expressed excitement about what his recognition might mean for the community. For the first time in a long while, he felt like he truly belonged. But later that evening, as the sun began to set and the plaza transformed with colorful lights, Adam found himself lingering at the edge of the crowd. It was intoxicating, the cheers and laughter swirling around him, yet something felt amiss. Emily asked, tilting her head, concern radiating from her voice. "I don't know, it just feels surreal." Adam replied, staring into the distance where colorful lights flickered like a cascade of stars. Emily took a moment before she spoke, her voice steady. "You've just been handed a key. It's up to you to decide what doors it opens. You've got the community behind you." He pondered her words, guilt creeping into his chest. "I want to make a real difference," he admitted, voice barely above a whisper. "But what if I can't measure up to this?" She stepped closer, her eyes locking onto his. "Adam, this is about much more than a suit. It's about your heart, your vision. You have the potential to inspire, to lift others." Taking a deep breath, Adam felt the knot in his stomach begin to unravel. "You're right." He appreciated her unwavering faith in him even when he couldn't see it himself. From that day on, a fire ignited within Adam. He began examining issues within his community that had long been overlooked, wanting to effect real change. His new mission became clear. He would focus not only on creating events, but also on engaging with the heart of the community. He started by organizing small meetups, gathering people to discuss their ideas, dreams, and concerns. With Emily at his side, he listened to elders sharing tales from the past, to young folks envisioning the city they wanted to build. One sunny afternoon, they set up a table in the park, inviting neighbors to come sit, share, and brainstorm. Slowly, one person after another joined them, weaving a tapestry of stories. A young girl named Sophia voiced her dreams of starting a youth art program, while an older gentleman talked about the need to refurbish the local library. Everyone contributed their piece of the puzzle, igniting a deeper sense of purpose. Adam felt invigorated. Finally, he wasn't just the guy in the suit. He was evolving into a bridge builder, someone who could cultivate change and help dreams blossom. But as the days passed, reality showed that roadblocks awaited him. At a particularly rousing meetup, someone raised a concern about funding. Great ideas, but they can't take flight without money. Reality crashed against his enthusiasm like harsh waves. He hadn't considered the financial side of his dreams. Adam felt a sudden weight pressing down on him, a reminder that inspiration alone didn't equate to action. That evening, sitting in his modest apartment, he flipped through endless funding resources online, feeling overwhelmed. Just then, his phone buzzed, a text from Emily lighting up the screen. "Hey, how are you holding up?" He quickly typed back, inviting her over. Maybe they could brainstorm solutions together. When she arrived, he poured them both a cup of tea. "I'm feeling a bit defeated," he confessed. Emily nodded thoughtfully, leaning against the kitchen counter. "What if we held a fundraiser?" It was a light bulb moment. "That's brilliant. A fundraising event could bring everyone together. We could showcase local artists, musicians, and talents while raising awareness for our projects." Enthusiasm bubbled between them, and as they planned late into the night, Adam felt hope swelling again. They would rally the community. They would create something powerful. Days turned into nights as they worked tirelessly on the fundraiser. Adam's nervous energy propelled him forward. Each small win felt monumental. The artist they approached said yes. The local bakery agreed to donate goods. Local musicians signed on to perform. But just as it seemed like they were on the verge of something big, doubts reared their ugly heads. A week before the event, they encountered a significant hurdle. Some local business owners began to sow dissent, concerned that the fundraiser might take away from their profits. "We can't afford to lose business," one man said, shaking his head. Frustration boiled in Adam's stomach. He had fought hard to create something positive, and now it felt threatened. "But this isn't about taking away business, it's about building community," he argued, conscious of the toll those doubts took on his confidence. Emily stood beside him, her energy unwavering. "Let's meet with them. Need to explain that this fundraiser could benefit everyone." They set up a meeting with the business owners, gathering a coalition that felt equally motivated to protect their livelihoods and make a difference. In the meeting room, the air was thick with tension as they approached the subject. Adam opened his mouth, ready to state their case, but the words felt stuck. Suddenly, he felt like that same boy in the old suit, and doubt threatened to swallow him whole. But Emily squeezed his hand, a reassuring gesture. "You've got this," she whispered. He took a deep breath and dove in, laying out their vision, presenting not only their goals, but how the entire community could thrive in the process. One by one, the business owners began to nod, receptive to their genuine sincerity. When the atmosphere in the room shifted, Adam felt the weight of anticipation lift. "This fundraiser is a chance for everyone to come together," he said passionately. The meeting ended on a high note, and Adam felt rejuvenated. They were making strides and building alliances at the same time. The day of the event finally arrived, and excitement peppered the air. Adam stood outside the plaza, looking at the decorations and booths being set up. His heart raced in a mix of fear and anticipation. They had put a lot on the line, everything hinged on this moment. Emily asked, her voice cutting through his swirling thoughts. "Ready as I'll ever be," Adam replied, feeling his pulse quicken. As the crowd began to gather, the atmosphere crackled with energy. Laughter and conversation erupted as people poured into the plaza, joining in to support a cause they believed in. The performances began, local talent showcasing their artistry, filling the space with beauty and inspiration. Adam felt exhilarated, brimming with hope as he watched people gather, connect, and share. But just as everything seemed perfect, disaster struck. The sound system faltered, crackling loudly before cutting out, sending murmurs of confusion across the crowd. Panic rushed through Adam. Could this be the end? Would people leave? Emily shouted into the crowd, stepping confidently forward. Her words sparked a fire, and the community rallied together to troubleshoot the issue. Adam basked in the supportive energy surrounding him, realizing this was the very essence of what they had built, a community willing to help each other, to lift each other up. With the moment salvaged, the music resumed, and he saw the joy reigniting as people danced, feasted, and shared stories. Adam smiled widely, knowing that they wouldn't only meet their goal, they would surpass it. But just as the evening reached a fever pitch, something caught his eye. At the edge of the plaza, a group of unhappy residents stood, arms crossed, looking disgruntled. Their faces were tense, their bodies rigid. Adam's heart sank. He had fought to bring everyone together, but here was dissent lurking in the shadows. One man stepped forward and shouted, "What's all this noise?" The air thickened with tension, eyes shifting toward Adam, waiting for him to respond. Doubt scraped at him again, clawing at the vestiges of confidence he had built. He began, but the worry festered in the crowd. "Positive," another voice chimed, angry. Adam felt the weight of his responsibilities crash in on him as he stood under scrutiny. With this event, this moment meant to unite, turn into a dividing force. Suddenly, everything felt fragile, swinging precariously on a thin thread. This was the cliffhanger. Just as it seemed they had achieved triumph, darkness loomed, threatening to pull them all back down. In that moment, he needed to decide not just for himself, but for everyone around him. Would he stand up and fight for what he believed in, or would fear overshadow the connection they worked so hard to build? The crowd murmured anxiously, and Adam stood at the precipice, waiting to see if his courage would carry the day, or if they would fall apart just as they'd come together.